It feels like the only consistently good news we are getting nowadays is the continued unionization of workplaces. And we are now seeing more of that in a new industry that up to this point has been largely untouched by organizing workers. So this is now the second successful union vote in under a year. I will show you what the first one was. I will show you what this big one is. And I will also discuss the company that, of course, was trying to stop this effort and what they did to try and stop it. But more on that later. So first, in a 19-3 vote, QA workers, quality assurance workers at Raven Software have voted in favor of unionizing, becoming the first major gaming union in North America. Now, the actual first place to unionize in this industry, in North America at least, was Vodeo Games. So late last year, they voted to unionize. They have 13 employees, so a small workplace here. Management voluntarily recognized the union. This is apparently a great place to work. They treat their employees with respect, and you can see that just by them voluntarily, accepting this and not trying to fight it like every large company is doing with these recent union votes, be it Starbucks, be it Amazon, be it Activision-Blizzard, as I'll get to. Now, in terms of why this vote is so massive, Raven Software is owned by Activision-Blizzard, one of the largest gaming companies in the world that is now being acquired by Microsoft. So it'll be interesting to see how that process works, if that'll have any effect on this vote or this union going forward. But of course, Activision Blizzard and Raven Games, known for many big game franchises, including Call of Duty. So Raven has worked on Call of Duty games, and these quality assurance workers often are the ones that are most overworked, understaffed, and underpaid. So it only makes sense that they're the first ones here to form a major union. Now, a little more on their work and their comments here after this vote. So from Vice here, in video games, the quality assurance department helps identify bugs and glitches and is often underpaid and understaffed. The union is called the Game Workers Alliance. Quote, now that we've won our election, it is our duty to protect these foundational values on which our union stands, said members of the Game Workers Alliance in a statement. Our biggest hope is that our union serves as inspiration for the growing movement of workers organizing at video game studios to create better games and build workplaces that reflect our values and empower all of us. We look forward to working with management to positively shape our working conditions and the future of Activision Blizzard through a strong union contract. So, of course, this vote has to be recognized by Amazon or by Activision Blizzard. We're going to have to see if they do that. My guess is they will try to fight it, but we have to wait and see. And then, of course, they have to ratify a contract. But this is the first step, and it's fantastic to see this. And I'll get to more on what Activision Blizzard was doing to try and stop this process, including right now. So they first began by contesting whether a small group of QA workers constituted a viable bargaining unit, arguing that if Raven Software wants to unionize, then the entire studio should unionize. But QA workers are sort of their own thing, and they tend to be the most overworked, understaffed, and underpaid. So it makes sense that they would go forward with this vote themselves. And the NLRB agreed, ruling in the workers' favor, setting up the vote that was ultimately successful. Now, in terms of what else Amazon did, they hired a union-busting firm about a year ago to try and thwart any effort to unionize. You're seeing a lot more companies try and do this now in preparation as they are seeing what is happening at places like Starbucks, Amazon. Now they fear this is coming for them, and it is. So ultimately, it makes sense for them, for these executives to want to protect their own wealth, their own interests. But even apart from that, I think it benefits them to accept these workers, to allow them to unionize. When you have happy workers, your company is likely to be a lot more efficient, more effective, and just a more desirable place. So to try and stop any effort like this, all you are doing is hurting the workers, hurting the morale, which ultimately will hurt, I think, the end product. But there's more of this from Activision Blizzard, so they also sent out emails trying to fearmonger about union efforts. So Activision executive to organizing workers, please don't unionize. So going on to fearmonger, warning workers about the vague consequences of unionizing. And guess who sent this email? A former Trump administration official. So Brian Bulatao is a Donald Trump crony that Activision-Blizzard brought on as chief administrative officer. During his time in politics, Bulatao reportedly acted as former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's attack dog, at one point bullying former Inspector General Steve Linick as Linick investigated the Trump administration. So this is the kind of people they bring on. These horrible individuals that have no soul and do not mind trying to bust up unions and, destroy lives, overwork, underpay. So this is why Raven Software decided to go forward with this vote. So a few reasons here from Vice. One major reason this vote happened was poor treatment of the workers by Activision-Blizzard in 2021, prompting a strike that lasted weeks and ended following a decision to hold a vote about forming a union and entering negotiations with Activision-Blizzard over a contract. All the while, Activision-Blizzard was dealing with the fallout from the state of California, filing a lawsuit against the company after investigating its toxic workplace culture. Also in recent months, Raven Software workers accused the publisher of curiously shifting staff around to thwart organizing. And just today, Bloomberg reported that U.S. Labor Board prosecutors determined Activision-Blizzard illegally threatened staff and enforced a social media policy that conflicts with workers' collective action rights. An Activision spokesperson told Bloomberg the allegations are false. So I have to say, one of the other big positives, recent positives, also has to do with this. It's just the National Labor Relations Board actually looking at the facts and ruling based on those facts. So you're seeing a lot of this pushback by the NLRB towards these massive companies, which to me is surprising. I mean, generally, government and corporations work hand in hand, but you're actually seeing here the NLRB do their job, look at the facts, and realize what these corporations are doing to these employees. So fantastic, and again, amazing to see Raven Software be successful in this vote. One last thing. This is indeed a trend. So from protocol here, most game developers think the industry should unionize, new survey says. So every year they apparently hold this survey. The annual GDC survey shows the steady growth of the industry's labor movement. So every year this has been growing. More and more game developers see the benefits, see the need to unionize. So the vote in support of it is now at 55% compared to the year before at 51%. Awesome. This, this is a workers, a nationwide thing. They're seeing workers in all different industries, be it places like Starbucks, places like Amazon, other workplaces. They're seeing this increased desire to unionize. They're seeing the news about this happening. They're seeing these strikes going on and the success that comes out of those strikes, and recognizing that, hey, as a massive industry that is largely untouched by organized labor, maybe this is something worth exploring. So now with 2 successful votes in less than a year, I think we are going to see a lot more of this, and that is just good news.